Like, how would you describe yourself and how you kind of approach life in general?
I think it's just very analytical. I like to think whether my decisions are rational, both in-game and out of game, and I do tend to try to avoid acting on emotion. I'm sarcastic. I laugh at other people's expense. I'm not necessarily nice, I'm just considerate. I'm Tristan Stidham. I go by Zeyzal, and I'm the support for Evil Genius's LCS team. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, Shelby, Ohio. Mostly farmland, I'd say. My childhood home was really active. I have 8 siblings and then my 2 parents. We had a really big backyard. It was a lot of space to just run around and have fun. I love my family, and it means a lot to have their support and trust in whatever I'm doing. Yeah, I'd say that my 2 oldest brothers were the ones that pushed me the most and then also had the biggest impact on my life. I kind of looked up to them when I was younger, and they were always willing to play games with me and spend time with me, and that formed a bit of trust between us. My second oldest brother, Colton, stopped playing the game we were playing and swapped to League of Legends. They would have me sit in the base and build all the GP10 items. Yeah, I'd say within like 2 years I was better than them all, so it was quite a difference, probably even faster than that. Those 2 were definitely the first ones to be supportive. I hit Challenger when I was first 15, so they were just really persistent on the fact that if I could hit it that young, then I would be a good player later.
Have you gotten used to walking at the camera yet?
Walking what?
At the camera.
Oh, I've done it many times.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, they can just mute the audio.
That's true.
One,
like
so.
for this one, where I'm looking at the camera and talking.
Usually these are like
Probably
transition
not
shots
usable.
anyway, so they don't
Sure.
actually use the audio.
That's true.
Unless you say something interesting. So
I'm not saying anything. I never say anything.
If you avoid doing that, it's really nice.
Okay, good. I'll keep that tip in mind.
So Melissa, Fox is gonna have player vote.
I joined United in 2016, but
Top lane is Licorice, jungle Gilius, mid lane Fox. I got that EU synergy. Bot lane is Deathly, and support is Zeyzal.
I hadn't graduated, so but I think the big thing I lost was my family. I had such a big family that going from seeing like 10 family members a day to none is a pretty big difference. I actually went free agent. It was pretty much on me to find a team pretty late into the split. It was really stressful, but it kind of worked itself out eventually. So that's actually the beginning of my career on Cloud9.
Backups are there. Is this the fight? It's 2 for 0, and the Guardian Angels are popped. This could well be it. Look at him clean.
I was on C9 for a long time, and things were going okay, but when a new opportunity arose for both C9 and myself, I was happy to be traded to EG.
Grab your stuff, guys. Quick huddle. That's all we're gonna do again. Yeah. Ready? EG on 3. 1, 2, 3. EG.
Game 4 follows the continued rise of Immortals. Xmithion's been crushing his replacement and former team yesterday. Now he sits in second place with the squad.
EG up, 3,000 gold, getting a 3rd early dragon.
And despite being outnumbered, Evil Geniuses continue to fight. And now it's Immortals is forced to run away. Kill after kill after kill. Evil Geniuses find their 3rd win of the split, and they stop the win streak of Immortals.
The work we put in to close out games like that has been a long time coming. To win on stage and end fairly cleanly was really good feeling.
The caster is actually specifically noting everything went as right as it was supposed to be. So how do you feel about your early game?
All right, guys, that's it. Nice win today, guys. Good. That was a nice win. You guys should feel good about that one. We had like two or three like big mistakes, but for the most part, super clean. Okay, so really nice job. You guys should all be proud. Great game. Cloud9 tomorrow. Same thing, right? Smash them. Good shit. Let's do interviews. and let's get out of here.
Multiple questions together is what they did for mine. Because it was like 2 paragraphs long answer. I listened to it and it was like,
It's okay, you're not feeling too.
it's our most.
Break formation.
You harassed me. I had to break the formation.
Well, it's week 4 of the LCS with coverage brought to you by Alienware. I'm joined right now by Zeyzal from Evil Geniuses to talk about their big win over Immortals. All right, so Zeyzal, all the analysts today, they predicted Immortals because they were, I think, second place. You guys have been climbing out after some unfortunate losses. So what is on your mind as you're heading into that Cloud9 match, especially as they're undefeated?
I think that they're actually undisputed the strongest team right now, obviously. I mean, their scoreline says it, but also they aren't as dominant, I think, as a lot of people seem to think.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
He's very nice in that he shows people the picture. And yeah, that's good. Thank you.
The big hit for me is Cloud9/Sneaky. I think that is something that was talked about an absolute ton by the community.
There was definitely movement there, and people were definitely unhappy. So if it had to disperse, then it had to disperse.
It almost kind of feels like C9 had this like schism, and some of you have broken off to become Evil Geniuses, and others have stayed. I don't know. How do you view this whole relationship now?
I would say there are certain pieces of the environment that will now lack in C9, and I think that obviously Sneaky's a big part of it, but yeah, I think it definitely rubbed off on all of us.
We can actually out-team fight these guys, okay? Be confident in that. You guys are better mechanically, okay? So all of their engages are super straightforward. It's just whenever we put ourselves in a position where they can engage, know that they will, okay? Like, this game's gonna be bloody. There's gonna be a lot of fighting. Just be ready for that, okay? Like, so much pressure on them today, right? Like, they're an undefeated team that people are hyping up, and now they're against, like, their old teammates, right? So much pressure on them, okay? But for us, this is a game like any other.
The C9 game was handled pretty much any way we'd handle a team that strong in the early game. We had a bit of a fighting spirit, I guess. I don't know if it was because it was C9, but we really knew we needed to fight early, and that if we wanted to get a win on them, it'd be by disrupting their early game. Hi, can I get really light makeup on my face?
Yeah.
Is that the blabberfish?
Yeah.
The blabber?
It's a reunion. See that makeup?
Hey, Mateus.
Mondays are rough,
Hey, Maddie.
Well, I still have a night there.
Thanks, Niski.
Let's get it today, yeah? Let's go. Ready?
Let's go.
EG on 3. 1, 2, 3, EG!
Looks like we are getting right into our second game of Monday Night League. Evil Geniuses and Cloud9 taking one another on.
This is the match that people are waiting for to see if Cloud9 can remain undefeated throughout week 4.
And I do think that you cannot underestimate Evil Geniuses.
Kumo running himself away, almost back to the tier 1 turret. And Cloud9 will claim the fight. Niski with the auto attack. The kill onto Zeyzal's going to start the fight off. Since Garen taken low, taken out. Cloud9 2 for 0. Vulcan there on the front line still. And it is doing so much. Niski's on a rampage. The damage just pours into the EG health bars. C9 are now very aware that EG's engage is lackluster. Cloud9 have all the tools they need to win this fight. Licorice is taking it even further. And Evil Geniuses will be the 8th team to fall to Cloud9. This team once again showing exactly why they are the standout in the LCS so far. Sven picks up another one onto Vulcan. Shizuke tries to make one last valiant.
Okay, guys. So tough game. I know it's not the outcome we wanted. Like, I think this was one of our best weeks of practice, and I think yesterday's stage match was one of the best games I've seen you guys play, out of scrims and stage.
The loss versus C9 was pretty rough. I mean, I know Dennis and Kumo really wanted to win, so I think overall we just stuck together as a team, and we got over that loss pretty well.
We will just be better next time we face them. That's all that matters, okay? So, heads high, okay? No shame in this loss, that's for sure. And we'll go back to work. Okay guys, so we only have 5 minutes. We're gonna do this really quick, rattle through this. We have each one thing to focus on today. These are things that we've either struggled with this week or we feel it's gonna be important this weekend to just keep in mind for the block.
A lot of the time, I mean, unless you're a perfect team, there will be times when you lose because of mistakes you could have learned earlier. My individual goal is just to be the best player I can individually, and I think if I can focus on that in spring, it'll make it much easier in summer to transition into a better team because I'm as strong of a player as I can be.
We're gonna be fine. We win this hard. I'm on side.
I think family is people you share a really close connection with, either through just being close to them for so long or people you just feel really connected to.
Oh, yeah.
I think what makes EG and all of its players and staff family is we come in every day, we practice together, we spend almost all of our time together. I take a lot of comfort in having my teammates around and seeing them every day. Being a part of EG is sort of like having a new beginning, a new chance to make connections with my teammates and have something where I'm able to actually mold things into the way I want my environment to be.